What's the answer? That's a good question. If I say name the membrane, what is it?
Bulbar conjunctiva.
Bulbar conjunctiva. Because I said the word membrane. But if I was pointing out the structure and just said name the structure, now what are we going to say? Why are they eye? Soft fibrous. The sclera. The sclera.
So this part,
Okay.
right here, because it's a membrane, that would be
Okay, now guys, remember,
otherwise it's
if I
the
say
sclera.
membrane on the
Sclera.
question,
Okay.
the conjunctiva, if I just say structure, it's the sclera, okay? All right, now, we'll go out here. What's this clear plastic part out here? The cornea, okay? Now, if I'm in this space right here, and I say, name the chamber, what are we going to say? The anterior chamber of the anterior cavity. Okay. And if I'm pointing to this colored portion right here, that's the iris, and the hole in the center of the iris,
Pupil.
the pupil, okay? And if I'm pointing to this muscle here, what am I? Don't walk into the you gotta clear the pen. No, it's a muscle. This is a muscle. Which muscle is this? Is it on the lateral or the medial side?
Lateral.
Lateral side, because the nose is medial. That's a good way of referencing it. So this is the medial rectus. Now normally there's another muscle right up here, which would be the superior rectus, and then down beneath this big structure here. What is this big structure right here? Coming out of the back of the eye. Well, no, this is the nerve. So this is the optic nerve. What is this crossing point right here? Remember from lecture? The optic chiasm.
That's it.
Okay? We have some work to do out there. Muscle beneath the optic nerve, down at the bottom. Inferior rectus, very nice. Okay, now on this inner wall here, in the medial wall, I see two muscles on this wall. One of the muscles is connected to this ligament up here. The other muscle is a little further down. So the one further down, which one is this one?
You see it? Yeah.
The medial rectus. The one above it is the superior oblique.
So you've got the lateral rectus. You would have the superior rectus up here. You've got the inferior rectus right down there. This is the medial rectus right here. This is the superior oblique.
I follow this ligament up here. About 10 minutes. Okay, I follow this up, and we get to this upper one, and that's the superior oblique. Beneath it is the medial rectus. Where is the inferior oblique? You got to go underneath the front. Down here, you see it's kind of curved this way. Kind of curved shape to it. That's your inferior oblique. So, up here, again, this model's missing it. It's missing it. Superior oblique is the beginning of it. Superior rectus here, lateral rectus, medial rectus, inferior rectus, superior oblique, inferior oblique, optic nerve, optic chiasm, sclera, cornea, membrane, conjunctiva, the bulbar conjunctiva. Everybody with me so far?
Get on that ruler.
Okay, anterior cavity here, iris pupil.
Where's the anterior cavity?
Right here. Put that there. Take this off. Leave it here for now. What is this structure right here? The lens. And if I'm pointing to the space in front of the lens, but behind the iris, what area is that? The posterior chamber of the anterior cavity. What's this? What's that? I know you know. It's the vitreous body or vitreous humor that is housed in this chamber here. Vitreous chamber.
Vitreous
Okay.
chamber.
Now I'm going to take out these two parts here so we can see the inside. Ready? Now if I'm pointing to behind the iris right here, okay, what am I pointing to? Well, no. This is pointing to the smooth muscle of the iris. Okay, so guys, if I'm pointing on the
Here's
colored
the
part of
smooth
the
muscle
iris,
of the iris.
it's just iris. If I'm pointing to the back of the iris, it's smooth muscle of iris. Okay, that's the answer. Okay, then, easiest for me. If I'm pointing to this part here that has these like white lines on it, the other model is a little different. There's no lines, but it's like after iris, right after the iris, right above that scallop portion right there. What do we have here? It's part of the ciliary body, I can tell you that. There's two parts of the ciliary body. Here's the first part, down below is the second part. So what's the first part? Ciliary, what's the other one? Ciliary process. And what's the function of the ciliary process again? Secretes aqueous humor. And then right below that is the ciliary muscle. Both together is the ciliary body. Ciliary muscle function.
Focuses the line.
Right, pulls on what kind of fibers are they in?
So the white is the ciliary process.
Zonular fibers, or what's the other
Right.
name?
And then
There's the sphincter, or-
and then the bottom is the muscle.
Okay, now if I point to this jagged margin, this scallop, jagged margin, down the bottom here, what do we call that?
The muscle.
Ora serrata. Very nice. Okay,
Ora
same
serrata.
thing here, right? Ora serrata, ciliary muscle, ciliary process, smooth muscle of the iris, pupil.
Iris.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm using this
Smooth
part
muscle.
and I'm pointing to any kind of tan area back here, posterior to the ora serrata, what does this tan material represent?
Ora serrata.
It's the
Ora
inner
ser- where's the
coat
muscle?
of the eye, inner
I thought
layer.
there was two parts of the
It's got
kidney.
photoreceptors in it.
Here is the body, but I want to double check that.
Photoreceptors, bipolar cells, ganglion cell layer, photoreceptor cell layer. The retina, or retina in some parts of the world. The retina again, anyway, we're never going to live that down. Okay, so that's the retina. Now,
brown part.
there's a purple dot on some of these models. Actually, this one doesn't
See it?
have it, but this one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a purple dot back here, and as a matter of fact, the other half of this, there's a number in it, is it 13? I think it's a 13. What does that purple dot back there represent?
Is that the
That's
blind spot?
On the axis, going right back, yep, so it's the, well, we're gonna say it's the central fovea located in the macula luteum.
So that's the
Central
central
fovea,
fovea in the macula
located in
lutea.
macula luteum. Now, what's the big claim of fame for central fovea? What's the big claim to fame?
You have the most photoreceptors?
Well, that's where the white strikes on objects of interest, but there's still white striking peripheral parts of the retina. Well, what about that part right there, the central fovea? No, not blind spot, it's the exact opposite.
Your
All right,
sharpest
so
starting point
It's where the most cones are concentrated, it's pretty much all cones.
is right there.
And it's where we're scanning around on the page, we're winding up the objects or the letters of interest so that the light goes straight back and hits the central fovea. So we kind of use the central fovea to scan around. And ultimately it's our area of sharpest visual acuity, sharpest vision. Okay, now if I'm pointing to this part right here, what's this? What? Okay, this is you just gave me that answer before. Optic disc, okay? Or the what spot? Why is it blind spot? No rods or cones, no photoreceptors. What passes through this blind spot? Well, it's
The vein.
going posteriorly, it's optic nerve, but what part of the retina is actually forming this blind spot? axons of the ganglion cell layer, which synapse with the bipolar cell layer, which synapse with the photoreceptor layer. Oh yeah, we're going to review our stuff more carefully because of this. Okay, now I see a red line in there and a blue line. What's the red line represent? Central retinal artery. Blue line.
Central retinal.
Central retinal vein. Okay. Did we skip anything on there? Oh, the suspensory ligaments. You know, we'll skip those. It's not on all the models. So just know what they do. Or we'll skip them on in terms of pointing out the model. Oh, canal of Schlemm. I'm sorry. If I'm pointing to this interface between the cornea and the sclera, right on the interface, all the way around, it's all the way around like this. If I'm pointing right here, what am I pointing to? The canal of Schlemm. Okay, or scleral venous sinus, whichever you prefer. Lens on people with aqueous humor. Well, aqueous humor.
Point that at again.
Does.
Point that. It's right here. He said it's a tweet.
Okay, I think that's everything on the eye model. Unless we have any questions, complaints, concerns.
Like just where these two things are meeting up. That's
Okay, next up is the